quality, hands down, 1,000% better. Now I'm going to go over the procedure of how this thing works and the components that I put together and the way I built it. And I believe this is going to help us out in the long run as the seasons go on and the years go on. I mean, they created fire way back when, and that's about as far as we've gotten with heat and water on these job sites. And the safety factor and everything that has occurred because of it is ridiculous. As we move forward here along the job site, I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about, and we'll kind of walk through the steps. If you want to follow me right around here, I'll show you what I recently have invested in. That's the spec mix enclosure, which I found was paid for itself this season alone. By not having to shovel around that mixer and keeping our tools and some of our stuff in there dry from the weather and snow away, we got such a great opportunity. This is a nice investment already. Now, along with the hot shot, it's almost an inevitable that we'll get just numerous amount more efficient during the winter time. Now, as I walk up to the enclosure here, I have the original, or basically the way we do it now. I got that torch running off the propane tank here as she comes in closer to the shot. You're heating up a barrel with a weed burner, and that's how we get hot water. Yeah, we get 500-degree water, we get 2-degree water, and we get 40-degree water. Imagine the beautiful consistency of that, right? You know what happens. You use 10 or 15 gallons from one batch. You were heating up 55 gallons, now you're heating up 30, and you're at 250 degrees by the time you get back to mix up another one. That inconsistency shows up in the mortar color, the shade, the dry time, the way it reacts with the brick, and the whole nine. Then we've got to deal with the consequences because everybody thinks that we did it wrong. But you know what? We didn't do it wrong. It's hard to control. We're in an environment that we have to battle each and every day, and to try to limit this down, and one of the most important things is the hot water. Now, look at the safety thing, right? You got an open flame. You can burn this tent down if you just trip on this thing and that canvas goes on fire. You can literally have a gas can here filling up that mixer, not realizing it. The fumes can blow you up. You could be burning your hands or your hair. God only knows what could happen, and you know how it is. Cords, hoses, everything lying around. Now, watch yourself on that cord as we walk over here to the hot shot. I set up the hot shot picture how you'd have it on the job. You'd have it right here in the one area. You got your hot shot here. We'll take a good shot of it. It's situated on a platform. I'll go over that momentarily. But I'll show you how it operates and the ease of this thing. Okay, number one, I'll take my gloves off because we need to connect those hoses. You want to get your water source. Now, I have the water source here on site. It's town water. So I ran my hose this morning from inside, right? So the hose is pretty much, not frozen, which is the 8-ball. So I'll hook it up to my inlet, which is right here. Alright, what's that take? About 2 seconds. Alright, got that going. Got my outlet hose, so that way I can fill my containment barrels, right, with the hot water that I'm going to make. So I'll do that. Alright, here we go. Got that all going here. Okay, so now, got those two items hooked up. My power source. I got a GFI on this thing to keep it from tripping in case we do get it wet, because you don't want OSHA hitting you up because of the not a GFI. There, check that out. You test that. Make sure you got power here. You know you got power. At least I know I do here. You turn your gas on the barrel, which is right behind the unit, and you're ready to create hot water. You hit the on button here. You turn your water source on. Warm water. In fact, it's increasing quite rapidly. I can easily create enough hot water throughout the day if I'm laying block, mixing grout, using the big 30 cubic foot grout hog mixers that we got to run grout on the jobs we want to mix on site. You know how hard it is to try to heat up enough water when you're grouting. Well, with this, producing, I'll bet you probably, if I measured it, I think 55 gallons in 7 or 8 minutes. I got pretty good water pressure here, but in most cases, you can get 55 gallons of 110 or 120 degree water in 8 or 9 minutes. You're doing very well. Now, as you can see here, and it's heating up very rapidly. In fact, I'm going to take a shot with my thermometer here. I'll wet on my hands. There you go. That's 88 degrees. Now you're increasing 94 degrees. Very rapidly. Now I've tested this thing a couple of times. I've gotten to 115, 116 degrees. As she runs through the unit, she keeps on heating. And eventually, it depends on your your water pressure, but to maintain a water temperature between 70 and 120 is what the specs want, and this will do it the best, most efficient way. Look at the safety of this thing. 110 power on a GFI. No open flame. Got containment barrels, which are very inexpensive. If these things leak, you get 2 more for what, $100? You got your back, you're containing the water. I look at simplicity. That's the most important thing, I believe, in construction. You don't want your laborers bumming around trying to figure stuff out. I also got an electric hose. If you want to run this thing at night and just keep it running all night, you can run an electric hose, keep the water in the hose wherever you're drawing it from above freezing, and the water will be going to the unit above freezing. Circulate this water, wrap it around your mixer motor or whatever you want to keep warm, and you can literally radiate that warm water on that motor. That way you don't have a hard start in the morning, and you know how it is when it's 0 degrees, because I know exactly what it's like. Cleaning the equipment at night. It's great to have 100-degree water cleaning off those ice sculptures that have created throughout the day around the mixer instead of hitting it with a sledgehammer. I know that's how people do it. It's the only way. It's the only effective way. And that to me is prehistoric. It's dangerous, it's costly, it costs us, but we endure it. I believe now is the time to make the change. I believe this will extend our season quite a lot, actually, I believe. I believe our season will be created quite a bit. Look at the steam coming off that water barrel. Isn't that beautiful? There's the hot shot in action, working like a champ. Now, let me go around the outside here. Here's the hot shot. I got an enclosure around the unit that actually creates our hot water. I got a platform or a mounting plate. Number 1 for safety from the propane, and number 2, a secure, safe place to put the hot shot on. In case anything ever happens, it's 4 or 5 bolts. Take the hot shot off, put a new one back on top of this platform, so you never have to buy a new platform again. This platform was made with 3/8-inch steel, angle, tube steel, plating, the whole 9. Welded, tested it. You could drop this thing from 100 feet, ain't gonna break. And that's the key. You don't want to be breaking your equipment, and you want it to be indestructible. And that's the way I look at it. I got everything with rolled steel, all the containment barrels, the gallons, everything is in containment steel. That way it doesn't flop around when you're moving it with a forklift or with a crane. I got a 100-gallon propane tank, which I believe will create roughly around 5,000 to 6,000 gallons of water, hot water, for your mixing. And in most cases, that's probably like not even a cost anymore, maybe 3 or 4 cents a gallon based on your usage, because this thing is on demand. If you're running the water as heating, put a nozzle on it, it'll stop heating. Once you hit the nozzle, it'll start heating up again. How beautiful is that? Come around here, I got the containment barrels, which are contained again with rolled steel. Alright, so that way you got your rolled steel, nothing moves around, nothing flops around. So in case you got to move it on a couple different areas on site, you're able to do that. It's not a problem, right? You don't have to worry about stuff flopping around. You see the convenience of it. If you want to take a full shot of this enclosure here, look at how wonderfully set up this is. It's an ideal mixing station. You got your hot water on one end, you got your mixer inside there. You're coming in, you're working just like it was 100 degrees out. And, you know, it ain't exactly perfect because the weather is going to cause some problems. This will eliminate probably 99% of them. And I believe that that's what the hot shot is going to do. And, that's it. Thank you very much. I hope you invest, because it's a very important thing that we need to just keep on moving forward. It'll extend our season. Thank you very much.